William Blake had as a core belief that images and texts working together could communicate in ways that neither word nor image could ever achieve alone. Engraver, poet, painter, mystic, revolutionary, and romantic William Blake created exquisite handcrafted books. His 1790 Marriage of Heaven and Hell was modeled after the prophetic books of the Bible, but expressed Blake's fiercely independent political and mystical beliefs. Each engraved copy was hand-colored by Blake, and so each of the handful of surviving copies are utterly unique. Rintrah roars and shakes his fires in the burdened air. Hungry clouds swag on the deep. Once meek and in a perilous path, the just man kept his course along the vale of death. Roses are planted where thorns grow, and on the barren heath sing the honeybee. Then the perilous path was planted, and a river and a spring, and every cliff and tomb, and on the bleached bones red clay brought forth till the villain left the path of ease to walk in perilous paths and drive the just man into barren climes. Now the sneaking serpent walks in mild humility, and the just man rages in the wild where lions roam. Rintrah roars and shakes his fires in the burdened air, and hungry clouds swag on the deep. As a new heaven is begun, and it is now 33 years since its advent, the eternal hell revives, and lo, Swedenborg is the angel sitting at the tomb. His writings are the linen clothes folded up. Now is the dominion of Edom and the return of Adam into paradise. Without contraries is no progression, attraction and repulsion, reason and energy, love and hate are necessary to human existence. From these contraries spring what the religious call good and evil. Good is the passive that obeys reason. Evil is the active springing from energy. Good is heaven. Evil is hell. All Bibles or sacred codes have been the cause of the following errors: that man has two real existing principles, a body and a soul, that energy, called evil, is alone from the body, and that reason, called good, is alone from the soul, that God will torment man in eternity for following his energies. But the following contraries to these are true. Man has no body distinct from his soul, for that called body is a portion of the soul discerned by the five senses, the chief inlet of soul in this age. Energy is the only life and is from the body, and reason is the bound or outward circumference of energy. Energy is eternal delight. Those who restrain desire do so because theirs is weak enough to be restrained, and the restrainer or reason usurps its place and governs the unwilling, and being restrained, it by degrees becomes passive till it is only the shadow of desire. The history of this is written in Paradise Lost, and the governor or reason is called Messiah, and the original archangel or possessor of the command of the heavenly host is called the devil or Satan, and his children are called sin and death. But in the book of Job, Milton's Messiah is called Satan, for this history has been adopted by both parties. It indeed appeared to reason as if desire were cast out, but the devil's account is that the Messiah fell and formed a heaven of what he stole from the abyss. This is shown in the gospel, where he prays to the Father to send the Comforter, or desire that reason may have ideas to build on. The Jehovah of the Bible being no other than he who dwells in the flaming fire. Know that after Christ's death, he became Jehovah. But in Milton, the Father is destiny, the Son, a ratio of the five senses, and the Holy Ghost vacuum. Note, The reason Milton wrote in fetters when he wrote of angels and God and was at liberty when of devils and hell is because he was a true poet and of the devil's party without knowing it. My favorite portion of Blake's book is Proverbs of Hell. Each proverb may seem quite simple, but live with them a while, and many of them become portals of discovery or mysterious and evocative tiny meditations. One thought fills immensity. Proverbs of Hell. In seed time, learn. In harvest, teach. In winter, enjoy. Drive your cart and your plow over the bones of the dead. The road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. Prudence is a rich, ugly old maid courted by incapacity. He who desires but acts not breeds pestilence. The cut worm forgives the plow. Dip him in the river who loves water. A fool sees not the same tree that a wise man sees. He whose face gives no light shall never become a star. Eternity is in love with the productions of time. The busy bee has no time for sorrow. The hours of folly are measured by the clock, but of wisdom no clock can measure. All wholesome food is caught without a net or a trap. Bring out number, weight, and measure in a year of dearth. No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. A dead body revenges not injuries. The most sublime act is to set another before you. If the fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise. Folly is the cloak of knavery. Shame is pride's cloak. Prisons are built with the stones of law, brothels with bricks of religion. The pride of the peacock is the glory of God. The lust of the goat is the bounty of God. The wrath of the lion is the wisdom of God. The nakedness of woman is the work of God. Excess of sorrow laughs. Excess of joy weeps. The roaring of lions, the howling of wolves, the raging of the stormy sea, and the destructive sword are portions of eternity too great for the eye of man. The fox condemns the trap, not himself. Joy impregnates, sorrow brings forth. Let man wear the fell of the lion, woman the fleece of the sheep. The bird a nest, the spider a web, man friendship. The selfish smiling fool and the sullen frowning fool shall both be thought wise, that they may be a rod. What is now proved was once only imagined. The rat, the mouse, the fox, the rabbit watch the roots. The lion, the tiger, the horse, the elephant watch the fruits. The cistern contains, the fountain overflows. One thought fills immensity. Always be ready to speak your mind, and a base man will avoid you. Everything possible to be believed is an image of truth. The eagle never lost so much time as when he submitted to learn of the crow. The fox provides for himself, but God provides for the lion. Think in the morning, act in the noon, eat in the evening, sleep in the night. He who has suffered you to impose on him knows you. As the plow follows words, so God rewards prayers. The tigers of wrath are wiser than the horses of instruction. Expect poison from the standing water. You never know what is enough unless you know what is more than enough. Listen to the fool's reproach, it is a kingly title. The eyes of fire, the nostrils of air, the mouth of water, the beard of earth. The weak in courage is strong in cunning. The apple tree never asks the beech how he shall grow, nor the lion, the horse, how he shall take his prey. The thankful receiver bears a plentiful harvest. If others had not been foolish, we should have been so. The soul of sweet delight can never be defiled. When thou seest an eagle, thou seest a portion of genius. Lift up thy head. As the caterpillar chooses the fairest leaves to lay her eggs on, so the priest lays his curse on the fairest joys. To create a little flower is the labor of ages. Damn braces, bless relaxes. The best wine is the oldest, the best water is the newest. Prayers plow not, praises reap not, joys laugh not, sorrows weep not. The head sublime, the heart pathos, the genitals beauty, the hands and feet proportion. As the air to a bird or the sea to a fish, so is contempt to the contemptible. The crow wished everything were black, the owl that everything was white. Exuberance is beauty. If the lion were advised by the fox, he would be cunning. Improvement makes straight roads, but the crooked roads without improvements are roads of genius. Sooner murder an infant in its cradle than nurse unacted desires. Where man is not, nature is barren. Truth can never be told so as to be understood and not to be believed. Enough or too much. The ancient poets animated all sensible objects with gods or geniuses, calling them by the names and adorning them with the properties of woods, rivers, mountains, lakes, cities, nations, and whatever their enlarged and numerous senses could perceive. And particularly, they studied the genius of each city and county, placing it under its mental deity, till a system was formed which took some advantage of the enslaved by the vulgar by attempting to realize or abstract the mental deities from their objects. Thus began priesthood, choosing forms of worship from poetic tales, and at length they pronounced that the gods had ordered such things. Thus men forgot that all deities reside in the human breast. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this brief plunge into the astonishing work of William Blake. I'll do another Blake video soon. I've done a lot of videos on poets, from Gerard Manley Hopkins to William Butler Yeats to Hilda Doolittle and Adrienne Rich. I also always like exploring how images and text interact. It's a theme I come back to again and again, and it's a fascinating one, so I hope you subscribe.